Welcome back. My name is Shadow and I have a story to tell. The New York City Transit System, or the MTA, is unique in its own right. The system runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Without public transportation, New York City would be a huge nightmare, with millions of its residents, tourists, and out-of-towners. With 472 stations across New York City, maintaining this century-old system has its flaws, and so does crime. Despite what the media tells us, the subway system is safe. Not Mayberry safe, but safe enough with its 12 police stations or transit districts. Again, their security throughout the system isn't perfect, but safe enough. Originally, before we focused on the drama throughout these YouTube streets, Storytellers Lounge's original model is to cover stories throughout the subway system. Since the drama is quiet for the time being, we're going to tell stories about this unique system to pass the time. On December 22, 2024, at approximately 7:30 a.m., a tragic incident occurred on the F train at Coney Island Stillwell Avenue Station in Brooklyn, New York. A man, later identified as 33-year-old Sebastian Zapata, allegedly set fire to a sleeping passenger, 57-year-old Debrina Kawam, by igniting her clothing with a lighter. Surveillance footage reportedly shows Zapata fanning the flames with a shirt before leaving the scene. There are videos circulating the horrific incident, and let's just say it's something you see in the movies. Let's start off with the story about the victim. Debrina Kawam grew up in Little Falls, New Jersey, where she was reportedly a popular student, cheerleader, and worked at a pancake house, according to friends. And according to another friend, Cindy Sertosimo Bowie. In her 20s, she traveled with friends to places like Jamaica, Mexico, the Bahamas, and Las Vegas, holding various short-term jobs. In the early 2000s, Kawam worked for Merck, but her life took a downturn. Public records show she fell into debt, faced liens, and filed for bankruptcy. Court documents also reveal multiple minor arrests under the name Debrina Kawam. In a 2008 bankruptcy filing, Kawam listed more than $90,000 in debt and no income. At the time, her assets included clothes, a futon, a television, and a Dodge Neon worth $800. After losing everything, Kawam became homeless and moved into a women's shelter in New York. But according to the Department of Social Services, they didn't know when she arrived to New York. And then on that fateful morning, Kawam's life ended when the accused set her on fire while she was sleeping on the F train. Now let's get to know the suspect. Who is Sebastian Zapata? Zapata, a Guatemalan citizen, entered the U.S. illegally 5 years ago. He told police he had been deported in 2018. He had been living in a Brooklyn shelter and was working as a roofer at the time of the incident. However, after a few drinks, Zapata became drunk and fell asleep in the very same car as Kawam is in. And of course, on that fateful morning, Zapata set Kawam on fire. Zapata claims that he doesn't remember what happened, but that's for the jury to decide, because if found guilty, Zapata will be facing a life sentence and no parole. Many speculations starting to float. From the lack of response from the police, where an officer was present and didn't do anything, to MTA employees, but of course some of these people are ignorant and make up all kind of imaginations. Subway platforms are very dangerous and should be treated as such. Statistics shows that throughout 2024, at least 25 people were pushed into the subway tracks below. Some are fatal, and some results in injuries. One such passenger survived this ordeal. On New Year's Eve at 1:30 p.m., 45-year-old Joseph Linsky was just minding his business waiting on the Downtown 1 train at 18th Street. A surveillance video tells the tale. Linsky is waiting for the Downtown 1 train. As he was waiting, a group of people fair evade by jumping over the turnstile, until one of them decided to push Linsky into the tracks below, a 6-foot drop. And then the Downtown 1 train arrives. Don't worry, he survived. Thanks to a trench along the track bed, he only suffered a fractured skull and broken ribs. The suspect, 23-year-old Camel Hawkins, was later caught at 59 Street Columbus Circle. He's charged with attempted murder and assault, and no bail is posted. The moral of this story is, never stand past the yellow strip of the platform, and for the love of baked ziti, put your phones down until you enter the train, and be aware of your surroundings. A lot of crazy people hang out in subways, and there's always that one crazy person who likes to shove people into the tracks for no reason. Let's turn the page to one more chapter. This ain't no skit, these are actual teens who enjoy the thrill of riding outside of the train. This is subway surfing. No, not the game on your phones. Unlike the game, there are no continues. One mistake, and that's it. An average subway train travels between 25 and 32 miles per hour. And if you hit something solid, this will happen. That's a watermelon. That's what a subway fatality represents. Surprisingly, despite its wild trend, only 6 have perished, while some were arrested, and some with serious injuries. No one knows why these teens and some adults are doing this. Some are looking for a thrill. Some were peer pressured into doing it to be popular in school. Whatever the motive, subway surfing is not only dangerous, but stupid. And this concludes the story about crimes happening underneath New York City. We'll be sure to keep an eye on future crimes happening under the city. For now, this is Shadow signing off, and if you see something, write something.
Thank you for visiting Shadow Storyteller. If you like what you saw, hit the like and bell to be updated on new content. Until next time.